You're dealing with the people that have given our people syphilis on purpose, who have given us AIDS on purpose, who have given us Ebola on purpose, who have killed us on purpose, who have incarcerated us on purpose, who have strung us out on crack on purpose. This is the same devil. Allahu Akbar. And if you don't feel like doing anything, you don't do it. If you don't feel safe going to your job or just because they say it's safe to go, doesn't mean it's so. That's how I feel. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وختام النبيين ورحمة للعالمين وديا إن ربيبنه وسداج منيرا أم أبدا. My dear brothers and sisters across the diaspora, Africans everywhere, I greet you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to first apologize for misspeaking on Saturday because I said to you on Saturday, I'll be with you tomorrow on Saturday. I wasn't aware that I was speaking on Saturday, that the next day was actually Sunday. I didn't find out Sunday was Sunday until Sunday afternoon when I was helping my neighbor across the way from me to clean out his garage. Something I said, he goes, no, he says, today is Sunday. I go, today's not Sunday, today is Saturday. And I got my phone out, and sure enough, it was Sunday. So, I wasn't with you on the day that I was speaking and telling you I was going to be live with you on Saturday. I was already speaking on Saturday, unbeknownst to myself. It's been a long month, everybody. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here right now and why I'm going to make this brief. There's a lot of subject matter that I wanted to cover. And, you know, I may get into it. I may. But we are in the last days of Ramadan. And I tell you, the last 10 days of Ramadan are the most significant. Because somewhere in those last 10 days is Laylatul Qadr, which is the night of power, just to give you a rough translation. But more significant is somewhere in those last 10 days is this particular night. And so we're usually in the mosque, round the clock, don't leave for 10 days. That's what normally happens. But we're in a pandemic, so we can't be in the mosque to do anything, quite frankly. And that has made this really different. You know, it almost kind of reminds you that your journey really is your own. You know that, but there's so much congregational stuff that goes on in Islam. And so, this is the first pandemic of my life. So it just feels awkward and out of place and different, different. Different doesn't always mean bad, it's just different. It doesn't always mean good, it's just different. So, inshallah, the holy month will be ending on either Friday or Saturday. Again, it depends on the moon sighting, because as I tell you, we're on the lunar cycle. Ramadan represents the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. And so, it'll be Friday or Saturday that we will be done with Ramadan. While it's been tough, it's actually been kind of short. I guess just because of all the, the pandemic stuff, and maybe it just, the days have kind of run into each other. Maybe that's why I didn't know Saturday from Friday. But overall, it's just gone kind of quick. It's like, wow, Ramadan is here, and now Ramadan is gone. Or at least it will be. Today is Wednesday. I do know that. Right, today's Wednesday, right? Let me just double check, because I've shown that I can't be trusted. Yeah, today's Wednesday. So today is Wednesday, and so there's 2 more days, or 3 days, of Ramadan. And I want to say that there's a lot that I didn't accomplish as far as how I imagined this Ramadan would go as it relates to my audience. But Ramadan takes a lot out of you, and there's also a lot of demand on your time. So a lot of things that I thought and imagined that I would be getting done, especially since there's a pandemic, I thought, well, I'm going to have time. But alas, maybe there's times when I had the time, but I just didn't have the energy. I really don't even have the energy now. I'm very weak. But I needed to come and speak to you because I wanted to help you understand I'm in a different time vortex, I don't hate my lighting, I hate what I'm wearing. I love what I'm wearing, but I hate it on camera. Because, again, our melanin is magical. It is magical. And so, when you have on white, then there's a different way you need to light yourself in order for your melanin to show like it normally would when I wear something that's not white. In fact, why don't I do a real-time, why not? Why not? Why not? I love those 2 words. Why not? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold up. Now, in this iteration of camera, you see that my melanin looks bronze gold and oily almost. At least that's what it looks like to me in the monitor. Alright? Now, watch the magic of melanin. It's magic, everybody. It's magic. It's magic. It's magic. It's magic. It's the magic of our melanin. You understand? We are just magical people. The beauty which with the one who creates has created us. I just showed it to you in real time. So this will also help you understand why not just me, but probably any African people you watch online or on TV or anywhere else, why we can look different at different times. It depends on what we're wearing and what lighting is on us. It really does matter. That determines how we show up. And I would hate to be a woman that wears makeup, because I can't even imagine. Because then they'd have the added burden or task of trying to light that. But you see how I look now? That's my beautiful melanin. Glorious and beautiful. And then beaming melanin, hindered melanin. Beaming melanin, hindered melanin. You understand? I'm glad the universe allowed me to do that just now, because you guys have heard me complain about my lighting so much all the time, and I hate the way I look right now. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And now you could understand at least a little small portion of what I'm dealing with when I say that. But I want to keep this to at least, if I'm going to go into anything, I want to keep to something that doesn't upset me, at the very least. Because, like I say, these are the last, we're in the last 10 days, and we're even in the last 3 days of Ramadan. I also want to shout out all of my Muslims who are under the sound of my voice, who would be fortunate enough to hear me anywhere that you exist on the planet. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. May Allah accept your prayers and your fasting in this holy month, and your reading and recitation of Quran. And may He give you all the blessings that He has promised all of His servants for our sacrifice during this holy month. Amen. I also had some other random shout-outs I want to do. I know I want to shout out Ronaldo Wayne. Shout out to Ronaldo. Shout out to Tesha. Shout out to Aaron and Jesse. Tesha, Aaron, and Jesse. Y'all know who y'all are, and big shout out to you guys. And big shout out to you guys. I can't wait to see you. I'll see you guys soon. You know that. I also wanted to shout out, I'm telling you guys, I should have just been a doctor, because I cannot read my own writing. And in fact, I was going to be a doctor. Like when I was younger, I said I wanted to be a physician. And then somewhere along the way, actually when I got to my sophomore year in high school, I realized, wait a minute, if you are going to go into medicine, you're going to have to go to school the rest of your life. You're not ready to do that. All right, good, we're changing that. So that's when I decided that I would major in business once I got to college. All right, so, but also, as it relates to Ronaldo, had shared a few things, actually. And also, you shared with me the video of the brothers that were armed to the teeth with the AR-15s outside of the home of the murderers of Ahmed Arbury. Alright. I also want to shout out Yah Bless for the Guardian article regarding the rail workers. The rail worker that died. Inna lillahi wa inna alayhi raja'un. I may read that article. I also want to shout out Yoda. And for you sent me something, Yoda, about the HR 66, or it was HR 666. When I looked it up, I think there was a 666 and a 66, or maybe it was just a 66. Anyways, it wasn't clear to me what you were giving me to look up, so I don't know. But I just want you to know I made an effort. And so I don't know what the resolution was. Shout out to Brian Simpson. Letting me know about the interracial nonsense going on the cover of TV Guide with Angela Bassett hugged up with some devil. Alright. I have some other shout-outs that I will find somewhere buried in my chicken scratch. I really have bad writing. Random. This was given to me the other night. I thought, how can there be such thing as diversity? Like, white people are always screaming diversity, 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 and they have us all saying it. How can you say there's diversity at the same time you're saying we're all the same? Because we're not. You can't have both. So if I show you a set of forks right now, they're the same fork. I show you 6 of them. Is that diverse? Because they're all the same. So you can't have we're all the same and we're diverse. That doesn't work. Again, it's these little things that are given to you and that are repeated from the time you come to earth, and you just accept them and you don't think about them. They just become gospel, like that is. But when you slow it down in slow motion, I was telling you about getting that remote and slowing down life, slowing down what you're hearing and seeing, what's being communicated, then you start to pick it apart and go, oh, this really is some nonsense. So you can't be diverse and the same at the same time. Put it down. I'm over it. There's also another video of Ahmed Arbury, everybody. Where that was from 2017, I believe it was, where these devils he was parked in a park near where he worked at the time, and of course the white devils rolled up on him, and my brother got out in some, I feel like it was some track pants, but they were sagged real low, and under that he had some red, I feel like, shorts of some kind, no shirt, shredded, and then he had on a big green, it wasn't really a bubble coat, but it had the real, the real bushy fur collar, and he had on a baseball cap, and it looked like it was the summertime. I don't know. I just pointed out because in the video, it's body cam video, and he's obviously upset because they're jamming him up, like, why are you asking me for why are you messing with me at all? And like, because this is an area that's known for drug dealing, which is so tired.
You off work today? Just rapping in the park. Gotcha. You got an ID on you, man? Alright, thanks, man. Grab it with you, okay? Why am I fucking with you? You wanna know why I'm fucking with you? Why? Keep your hand in your pocket.
I ain't got shit on me. What the fuck you fucking with me for?
I'll tell you why I'm here, man.
Why?
I'll tell you why I'm here. Because this area is known for drug activity.
Drug? How the fuck I'm drug attack when I work at Blue Beacon?
Back up.
Check my shit.
Back
right?
up.
The fuck you talking about?
You
Check
wanna back
my
up?
motherfucking shit. Oh, boy.
Turn around and put your hands on the car.
Why?
Turn around and put your hands on the car.
Watch out, bro.
Turn around and put your hands on the car. I'm checking you for weapons.
Reason.
I'm checking you for weapons.
You got no reason to touch me, bro.
I'm not searching you. I'm checking you for weapons. All right, man? You don't have any warrants?
Weapons, bro.
I know, but you're coming up on me. Making me kind of nervous. Okay?
You bothering me for nothing. You can't go in my car.
You're not allowing me to search your car?
You can't go in my shit.
I'm not asking you.
And he gives him the ID and everything, and then he's already under control when the other fat white devil shows up, comes around the other end of the car, and is telling him he needs to get on the ground and get down. And Ahmed has his arms out like this. He's still standing up, and the white devil starts firing his taser.
Just don't reach the car, man.
Hands out of your pocket.
Hands out of your pocket.
Down.
Let me know.
Warning, down.
Stay on the ground. Just stay on the ground, okay?
Keep your hands out. No, keep
I've
your hands
checked.
out.
I've already checked them
Listen
for
to me.
weapons. I've checked them for weapons.
But alhamdulillah, it didn't fire. It was firing, but it didn't work. And he was fully in compliance at the time that he was firing this taser.
Okay. I'm trying to ease my mind. I'm rapping. I rap, bro. I rap.
I got you, man. But when you run up on me and you get really jumpy, that's gonna make me nervous too.
Aggravate my day. I got 1 day off a week. 1 day.
Okay.
1 day off a week. I'm trying to chill on my day off, bro. I'm up
I got
early
you.
in the morning trying to chill.
He was. Very aggravated.
Malfunction.
Yeah, that was.
I tried to tase him.
You did try to tase him?
Yeah.
It got to the point where you had to tase
Well,
him?
it was, I didn't realize he'd already patted him down for weapons, and I could see there's like a wallet or something, and I could see him going like that, and he had a big heavy coat on, and he just wasn't moving fast enough.
The white man is the devil. Period. They just are. Don't tell me anything else. And two things. That if the taser had worked, that would have been a problem. And if the white devil had pulled his gun instead of a taser, we'd have another incident like that on our hands. You understand? As long as we think that peacefulness is the way, we're not going to get anywhere. You don't be peaceful against people that are violent against you. You must fight fire with fire. When you are aggressed upon, you must aggress those that aggress you. That's the way that the divine has ordained for mankind. You understand? This two wrongs don't make a right nonsense is something that is designed by the perpetrators of all hate and evil and violence on the planet, and that's white people. Of course they would tell you that. So you don't come and strike their ass. So that you don't pull a Nat Turner on their ass, their man, woman, and child while they sleep in their beds. Of course they'll tell you that. We as a people need to put that down. And understand that a mosquito will continue to bite you until you swat it. We need to be clear about that. Me and my brother Kai, shout out to you, my brother. We had a very long discussion about this last evening. You know, it's just... Wow. You know, it's kind of like this. I want to give an example. Amanda Seales, I don't know, sometime, maybe earlier this year or sometime, there was a black after Grammy or after Emmy or after Oscar party or something. She's on some show that I never saw, but I keep hearing the name of it, Insecure. I don't have HBO, so I'm never going to see it. And Issa Rae is, I guess, the creator of the show. And so Issa's publicist or manager, somebody throws this thing. And apparently it's happened to Amanda before, but this last time she shows up. She's one of the main characters on the show. She's not like an extra or a reoccurring, guest star appearance every once in a while. She's a main person on the show, like that part of the cast. And she shows up to the party, an all-black event thrown by black people, and a white bitch tells her she can't come in that's working security. How is, and while at the same time we're screaming Oscars so white and all of that, at the same time that you throw your own event, you deny your sister to come in, and some white bitch is the one that's vanguarded for her to tell you and seize upon you until you're not coming in. But here's why I bring it up. Because when Amanda was retelling the story, she talked about how when she went on in and this white bitch was coming for her and other said white devil security, not only did her cast members not put up any protest or try and help her or try to come to it, but she said she noticed there was other people that saw everything that was going on and nobody did nothing. And that made me want to cry for her, because that's what I know to be true. You see, I already have jumped for my people, but I can't be alone. I can't be alone. I won't be alone. I don't need to be alone. You understand? Michael Johnson, what was it, 2016 or 17, when he allegedly took out 5 cops in Dallas, which we still don't have any real evidence of. I don't remember there being any funerals, and then he was blown up by a robot, and so we really don't have any evidence, so I don't know, and it's white people that are telling it, which makes it completely unbelievable anyway, but whatever. We'll go with the fantasy that this happened. He shouldn't have had to be alone. But in the end, he was. Because like Amanda, he knew y'all wasn't going to speak up. You wasn't going to say nothing. You see? That's what makes me sick. That's what makes me sick. Because I would have already been jumped. Already. And still ready. Cocked and ready at all times. I tell you, the switch is always hot with the Jedi. Always hot. Always. I'm always ready to go. But too many of you don't have the chip on your shoulder and you're not angry enough. You understand? Only your anger and your hatred can destroy anything. Doesn't matter what you're dealing with. You have to really despise something before you're ready to really do something about it. Even if it's just a roach in your house. I've been to people's houses where they just let roaches crawl. God love them. But until you absolutely hate and despise those damn roaches, you will never do anything about it. This is our roach. I also, as it relates to Ahmed, I also want to say that I'm sick and tired of every time he's being described as unarmed. You see, these are the little jewels that the universe gives you, everybody, when you silence your life and silence your soul and listen, so that you can be given inspiration and clarity. You understand? And when you're not clouded and fogged with a bunch of stuff. So, this is one of the other things the universe gave me. That and it can go so fast. So you're focused on the whole story. You're just not focusing on the little minor details. You see, you're seeing the wheel. I'm looking at the ball bearings and the axle. You see, it's a difference. But they're describing him as unarmed. Unarmed. What I'm not hearing, and what I should be hearing, is innocent. You see? So while they fill up their airwaves like they care about the death of any one of us, their white devilry still continues, subtle, because they know you're not vibrating on a frequency that you're not going to find. You won't catch it. You understand? But I always tell you, you got to get up early and stay up late to pull stuff over on the Jedi. You just do, which means you will never sleep. But they never say an innocent young man, just unarmed. Meaning, by default, he's violent and a threat, but this one was unarmed. That's like it was a tiger, ferocious and dangerous, but it was toothless. This is the same thing, everybody. This is the same thing. You have to listen to the serpentine forked tongue of this white devil. You just must. You just must. I just want to shout out Kiara Irvin for this piece about Corey Ali Mohammed in Fresno, California, 2017. a shooting spree. I'm probably going to read that because I haven't read it. I don't know what it's about, but I did look it up when I saw your you mention it. Yeah, best. The link that you sent me wouldn't play. I wrote it down even. http:// I wrote it there, YouTube/ms. Anyways, just expressing that I literally wrote it down, and it doesn't. There's nothing coming up. So I don't know what you were trying to share with me. Although I will say that just after I made a notation that there was some coon that was supposed to be coming out saying that that Ahmed wasn't out for a jog. So I don't know if that was what you were trying to send me, yeah, or not, or if that was just another notation that I was making. All right. But again, that person represents. You see what I'm saying? I am not jumping for my damn people until I know that there's going to be people that are jumping with me. Period. At the end. You understand? But all y'all fear-holding people and not trusting, neither knowing or trusting the one that created you, I'm not doing that for you. I'm not sacrificing myself for you. I'm ready to martyr myself tomorrow when I know that my people are going to stand with me. That my effort is not in vain. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's like the old African proverb says, if you want to go quick, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Also, we should be on notice that Trump is mobilizing the military to distribute the future upcoming vaccine. Why do you need the military to do that? I tell black people, you need to stop focusing on what they're telling you to focus on and understand that we're at war with a maniacal, violent, savage-ass devil, and you need to start arming yourself to the teeth. You understand? And it's time to get real sensitive. Real sensitive. Real sensitive. You are dealing with the devil. I don't know how many millions of times I've said that over the years I've been on here. And if you take your simple ass and get this vaccine, you deserve whatever happens after you do it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Especially if you've heard me, because you've been warned. By the way, he's calling this distribution of the vaccine with the military Operation Warp Speed. Why do you need that? The name is even suspicious. You understand? You need to also know, as it relates to this virus nonsense, that in Pennsylvania, the University of Pennsylvania, a researcher, Dr. Bing Liu, was killed. And it is understood that he was on the verge of a significant, hear this, a significant finding about the cell and molecular makeup of this corona damn virus. And you always know evidence of a crime by how they respond to it. So in reporting the story, they say, but authorities said this had nothing to do with his findings. Nothing to do with that. No, just random. Who believes that? After we saw Dr. Judy, whatever the lady is, Markovitz or whatever that I brought you, her video can't even stay up for 5 minutes and they're taking it down because white people are inclusive. From YouTube to Google to Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to all the other stuff. All colluding. You understand? They're no different than Trump and the person that runs the military and the person that runs the treasury, the bitch next door, the dude that runs the bank. It doesn't matter. White people are the same, and you need to understand that. And they collude against your ass and the truth. The truth is definitely like kryptonite to them. They don't like it. They don't. Because when truth is proclaimed, lived, and spoken, they are on the losing end of it. As long as evil, lies, and deception and everything else rules the day, it's like pigs wallowing in mud and their own feces. They're at peace. This is who they are. So we're to believe this had nothing to do with this significant finding that he was on the verge of getting. Man. It's interesting that this is all happening at, right at Ramadan, everybody, because this is something that really challenges your whole everything. Because I'm ready to be Michael Johnson, like, as I sit here. Right now. But this challenges everything. Because it seems like the evil are the ones that are successful. And because the righteous and the oppressed, the wronged, do nothing. Once we start popping some necks, we'll get a different result. We'll get a different result. Because you see, the first thing they resort to is violence. The very first thing. I showed you pictures where just to go out and protest that they want the country open, there they were out in full strap on damn guns and bullets and all of it. Their first move is violence. Why isn't ours? What else? So I say, if you're an African person, and some of which you're not walking around with a chip on your shoulder, you're a problem. You're a problem. Because that means you're the happy Negro. That means you can't be counted on to do a damn thing in the way of liberation and a better way for our people. You're not willing to be martyred and sacrifice yourself or your time or anything else for the cause of us. Because you're happy. That also means you're ignorant. You understand? Because knowledge equals action and requires a certain reaction. So when you know your predicament, you can't be walking around happy. So if you're walking around happy, you're a problem. I can't read my own writing. I want to say this. This just came to me. I thought about this because I just came to me. I saw something and they showed a clip of Nipsey Hussle, Rahimullah. And once again, somebody like him is absolutely dangerous because there was a reporter that put a microphone in his face and said, "What's up, little man? You look like Snoop Dogg." And he was like, "Yeah, everybody tell me that." And he sounds just like him too, like it's eerie. I feel like they need a DNA test. Anyway, he said, but y'all see you blinged out and all that, and the cars and this and that third, and what he's like, he goes, because all that stuff, it doesn't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Material stuff and all that flashy stuff, that don't mean nothing. I'm about investments and buying businesses and lands and investing my money, and this, that, and generational wealth. And the dude said, whoa, wait a minute. He literally stopped. He said, say that again, because you're a rapper, you got the tattoos, you got the this, you got the that, and you saying this? And I knew this, but it was just another reminder for me. That's why this brother was assassinated and dangerous. But it also is another commentary on why we don't have any other choice but physical action when it comes to making progress in this country. We have to be able to force our will because we will it to be, and it's going to be that way or it's going to be a problem. It's how we need to present ourselves. You understand? So that the next Nipsey Hussle that comes along, inshallah, and our brother sets up a store, because we know that how when we covered that story, how the city had, you know, was given a bunch of grief, and there was police raids all the time. Wouldn't be no raids. You see, they come to raid because there's no resistance. There's no resistance. No resistance. No resistance. There needs to be resistance. You understand? This is why the Black Panther were so immediately a major tumor for the white devil, when they, as they begin to educate themselves and say, wait a second, all this police brutality, we got the right, we have a Second Amendment right, brothers. They didn't know that. Knowledge equals action. Once they found that out, they went and got their heat and start following this white devil around. You on patrol? We on patrol. What? Where you go, we go. You see? So it's a problem. And we know that laws are not for them, because they can just be arbitrarily just changed and abdicated anytime they want, as it was with the Black Panther. So that they were in California. It was an open carry state. Nearly overnight, it was no longer an open carry state, and is no longer an open carry state to this day as I sit here. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Up, the niggers have guns. That's it. Well, we have to change the law now. We have to. You're never going to get anything until you have the courage to believe in the one that created you, trust him for victory, and you have to engage these damn people in a way that you can't imagine and have never done before. Because if you want something you never had, you got to do something you never did. Period. Everything else is just a fantasy. I've said this a billion times. Everything else is a fantasy. Everything. 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 And you let inroads. So it doesn't have to be at that level. You know, it can just be, you know, you're a struggling actor, or somebody's trying to be an actor or an actress, something like that. And then your agent calls you up and says, you know, there's a commercial. When you get there and you see it's a white heifer, or a white dude that you're supposed to be co-starring with, you're supposed to be able to say, I can't take this job, and walk your black ass out. But you are pathetic and you don't have the strength to do that. If you want something you never had, you got to do something you never did. What else? I don't know when I made this note. Public school holds mock slave auctions. White bitch pulls gun on black family on campground or at campground. White bitch calls cops on black woman at a pool where she was a resident, please. This might be older. Well, this is from San Antonio, Texas. A college student picking up trash, and cops pull gun on him. White devils pull guns on him. Again, immediately to violence. So why are we walking around being peaceful, black people? I ask you this again. Why? It's like if you were in a park that was known for mosquitoes in the dead of summer, and you're out there with no mosquito spray on. Everybody say, how come you put on no mosquito spray? How come you didn't? And nobody would understand you. This is that. This was from Kiara Irvin about this Corey Ali Mohammed. And I didn't know anything about this. I just looked it up. I found an article and saved it. So, as you guys know, I don't ever read anything in advance. So, as I go through it now, will be the first time, obviously, that I'm reading it. All right. And I'm also eager to read this because of his name, but the fact that his last name is Mohammed is, what was his name? Corey? Like, I'm expecting him to be a Nation of Islam dude. So that's not a Muslim. So sorry. But nonetheless, let us see.
After he was placed in the patrol car, he yelled out Ali Akbar as he was seated in the back seat of the patrol car.
Alright. It just starts like this. I guess it says you get fed up. End quote. Man facing death row for Fresno shooting spree says racism drove him to murder. This is so perfect right now. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Because that's what's... This kind of ties into what I've been saying up to now, actually. So here's... Wow. Subhanallah. Wallah, I have not read this. By Allah, I swear this. And so, isn't it interesting? I'll read that again. You get fed up. Quote, man facing death row for Fresno shooting spree says racism drove him to murder. And we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to. As more black people finally get pissed off enough and stop playing footsies with these people doing shit to us. Every single day it is something. Every single day in every sector of their society there is something against us. So I haven't read it, and I don't. And before I read a thing, I say I'm fully behind my brother, 100%. I don't care what he did. Now let's read. A man accused of killing 4 people told detectives in a recording that he was fed up with racism and that he might as well keep killing as many white men as he could. Corey Ali Muhammad, a black man who is currently on trial for a shooting spree that took place in California in 2017, could face the death penalty if convicted. How many white people are on death row for their shooting sprees they do daily and weekly and shit? Huh? Somebody get me a stat on that. Oh, none? I'm sorry. Oh, cause Jedi, they're crazy. Remember, and they had problems at home growing up. They were mentally ill. They didn't mean it. They can't be held accountable. But you did it on purpose. And you did it out of anger. And there's nothing wrong with you mentally. Even though our white asses are getting on your nerves every goddamn day around the clock. And you should have killed us a long time ago. There's nothing wrong with you. Ali Muhammad, a black man, who is currently on trial for the shooting spree that took place in California in 2017, could face the death penalty if convicted. Fresno B and ABC, somebody said. In a recording shown during the trial, taken by detectives on the day of his arrest, Mr. Muhammad told police, quote, I don't want to do nothing to law enforcement, so I just found some white men to kill. I don't believe he said that. That sounds white and made up, contrived and dishonest. I didn't feel it, so it's not true. A security camera recorded Muhammad coming up behind 25-year-old motel security guard Carl Williams and shooting him. No white person has ever come up behind us and shot us, everybody. Emmett Till is a fantasy. It never happened. You want me to believe that good white men went into black people's home and pulled a 12-year-old boy out of bed in the middle of the night and took him and tortured him for hours and beat him to death and then tied a fan and a block to him and sunk him in a river? You want me to believe that? You want me to believe this? White people do no wrong, do you understand? And Carl Williams, the security guard, was innocent. Mr. Muhammad told officers that while trying to visit a friend in the motel, this white devil was disrespectful to him. No question he was disrespectful. No question. No question. Quote, it starts taking its toll on you and you get fed up with the racism. And I'm going to object to this word because words matter, everybody. They do. So we change this word racism, which inherently represents white people, because you get rid of them tomorrow, there's no more racism. It's gone. It's gone. They're the only ones perpetrating it and keeping it alive and continuously jacking up other people's lives with it. So we'll change that. So he says it starts taking a toll on you, and you get fed up with white people, he said. You get tired of letting things slide. Earlier testimony alleged that Mr. Williams noticed Mr. Muhammad and told the motel manager, who asked Mr. Muhammad to register and pay a nominal visitor fee. Now you got to pay to visit a hotel? When did that happen to everybody? Oh, because Jedi, remember, they can just make up rules whenever they want to. They just pull it out of their ass. Just when they want, and they can just deny rules when they don't like it. Kind of like Trump is doing, because he represents all white people, so this is the way they do. Okay, I get it. So now you got to pay to visit a hotel, everybody, apparently. Next thing you'll be paying rent monthly just to visit. So, Mr. Muhammad went to the office to register, but the manager testified he felt threatened and kicked out the guest and Mr. Muhammad. He felt threatened. Because anytime they don't have a gun and they violent ass don't got the Yahoo boys with them, they're automatically afraid of the black man, as they should be. Because they know that we have forever and still have every right to want absolute and total all-out revenge on their bitch ass for past and present crimes against African people. That's why they claim they're so afraid. But sadly, we're not giving them any reason to back that up. The alleged killer said that if he was going down for murder, end quote, he might as well kill as many white men as he could. Days after Mr. Williams was murdered, he gets called Mr. Williams. If he had been a black man, he goes by inmate. So they would say, days after Williams was killed, I've broke this down for you in the past, because they immediately start referring to you, because I worked in the prison for years. And so we refer to inmates only by last name. Even the officers will go by last name only. You see? I've broken it down for you before. I'm not doing it again right now, but I'm revisiting that just to make my point here, to say that now they've just described this Carl Williams person who was a victim of a black man, and because he's innocent by default because he's white, they say days after Mr. Williams was murdered. If it was a black man, it would have said days after Williams was killed, you see. But when it's a white devil, they say days after Mr. Williams was murdered, a gunman shot and killed 3 other people at random in the downtown area, because they don't do any random killing. Von Derek Myers, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tandra Bland, Laquan McDonald, Philando Castile. But it's supposed to sound so heinous that one black man killed a few white people one time, and it's a problem. Gunman shot and killed 3 other people at random in the downtown area. A 34-year-old, a 37-year-old, and a 58-year-old man were all shot within a small time frame. The first victim was Zachary Randalls, 34, who was sitting in the passenger seat of a Pacific Gas and Electric lorry. Was sitting in the passenger seat of a Pacific Gas and Electric lorry. I don't know what that is. Quote, when I walked up to the truck, I saw a Mexican driver and a white guy, Mr. Muhammad said on the recording. I didn't want to target the driver because he was Mexican, so I shot the white dude. First of all, I don't know how much of this to believe, because I don't see a picture of Corey Muhammad, and they're saying recording. Unless you're going to show me a video of him saying this, and still I won't believe it, because a la the Central Park 5 and various other said confessions that were bullshit because of white devils coercing and threatening and getting you to say shit that never happened. You understand? You can't trust these people at any level at all. So this whole thing, they're describing a recording of statements that he's making. I don't believe a word of it. None of it's true. We don't have a video of him saying it, and they're saying it's a recording, and then they're the ones telling us, because white people wrote this, so it's not believable. Has no validity whatever. Reports from 2017 claim that Mr. Muhammad shouted Allahu Akbar during his arrest. But listen to that. Now, everything else has just been a quote. Everything I read to you, when they've described different people, they've given you quotations. Identified who said it. Now, this next paragraph starts, reports from 2017 claim. So, again, it's just more white people pulling stuff out of their ass and more lying by white people. Reports claim. What reports? Who's reporting? Who said it? Who? I will tell you. Tell me who said it. Tell me who said it. Hold up. It's the oldest trick in the book. You know, somebody said, who said? You can never get away with that with the Jedi. And you should challenge that all the way, because always, because people that do that aren't expecting you to challenge it. You know, man, they were saying, who was saying? Who? Well, I don't know, but they don't tell me. When you can tell me the source, then you can tell me whatever it is you're going to tell me. Until then, get out of my face. Understand? Reports from 2017 claim that Mr. Muhammad shouted Allahu Akbar during his arrest. We're sure that's a lie. And now this isn't moving at all. It's not scrolling, everybody. Okay, there it goes finally. A little bit. Oh man, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Mark Gassett, 37, and David Jackson, 58, were identified as the other two victims in the shooting. At the time of the arrest, Fresno Police Chief Jerry Dyer said the massacre had, quote, nothing to do with terrorism in spite of the statement he made, end quote. Because he didn't say it. And in that thing, it just says reports say. Then they say down here, at the time of the arrest, the Fresno chief said the massacre had nothing to do with terrorism in spite of the statement he made. So, I'm assuming that he was told that this statement was made, that he had no personal evidence of that or knowledge, and he's just responding, and they're writing it as if the previous fiction that they typed saying reports is somehow valid using him. I hope you understood what I just said to you. It's a very snaky way of trying to make you say something that you didn't say and agree to something, almost giving it factual basis that's not based in fact at all, or even a source. I'm over it. At the time, okay, and by the way, you notice they said it had nothing to do with terrorism in spite of the statement, in spite of the statement that was made. Because A, they think that all Muslims are Arabs, when out of the 1.8 billion Muslims on this planet, a very tiny fraction of them are Arab, or even come from the Middle East, or have Arabic as their first language. You understand? Real tiny fraction. That's the first thing. Second thing is, because again, white people always say you shouldn't generalize, and you shouldn't prejudge. Yes, you prejudge their ass all the time because you will always be right. You understand? We know at a certain time of year that bud is going to turn into a rose. We know that. It'll happen. We'll just sit and do it with a slow motion camera. We'll just watch it. It'll happen. There it happened. You see? They're trying to seduce you away from reality so you don't keep your eye focused like a damn microscope on their bitch asses. So, that's the first reason why. Because he's not an Arab. And secondly, because he is from here. And thirdly, because he's probably Nation of Islam. You understand? They have no weight. And they also know that even had it been an Arab, they don't want to say that in this country because there are millions of us Muslims here in this country. And I tell you, we're not afraid to die. And we're not afraid of fucking white people. And we don't love this world. We don't. If one of our brothers fights, we all fight. Done. They know we won't sit back like you spineless black Christian folks who for generations after generations sit around and wring your hands and hope Massa is going to give you justice. The very ones desecrating you is the ones you look for to give you the salvation. You're pathetic. And they know it. And that's why they continue to strike your ass. This is solely based on race, he added, the chief. Alright. At the time, it was reported that on a Facebook page that appeared to be Mr. Muhammad's, a user posted hashtag let black people go and encouraged black warriors to mount up. Mr. Muhammad's defense claims that he is mentally ill. which they're never going to go for that. You see? Because you're not allowed to have pain. You can break your back in 4 places on the ski slope tomorrow. They're going to give you an ibuprofen. You understand? White bitch can break a nail. She gets fucking Percocet. Understand this. Okay, let me go back because there was somebody that I said had shared this Yah bless. This guardian or this rail worker. By the way, this is our sister right here. Well, until this bullshit popped up. I'm over it. There she is. U.S. rail worker dies of coronavirus after being spat at while on duty. Now, again, I haven't read it, and another shout out to Yah Bless, and also if I didn't re-shout out whoever just I said for the last article. Kiara. Yeah, Kiara. I know this will have been a white devil that spit on her. Because again, the only people starting shit upon all humanity, round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, is white people. Guaranteed. 100%. Let us read. UK, oh, it's in the UK. UK, it's still going to be a white person. Still going to be a white person. UK rail worker dies of coronavirus after being spat at while on duty. The family and friends of a railway ticket officer worker who died of coronavirus after being spat at while on duty say the incident raises serious questions for her employer. Belly Mujinga, 47, was working on the concourse of Victoria Station in central London on the morning of 22nd March when a man who said he had COVID-19, a white devil, spat and coughed at her and a colleague. Within days of the assault, both women fell ill with the coronavirus. Mujinga, the mother of an 11-year-old girl, Ingrid, was admitted to Bennett General Hospital and put on a ventilator, but died on 5th April. Her cousin, Agnes, and a colleague who witnessed the incident said Mujinga had pleaded against working outside the protection of the ticket office without PPE. So, who did they name that she survived by? Or they saw it? Let's see. Her cousin Agnes and a colleague witnessed the incident. Well, they need to be going to find the bitch that did it. You understand? And handle them. Post haste immediately. They alleged her employer, Govia Thameslink, knew she had respiratory problems, but still insisted she work on the concourse and interact with passengers, because white people don't give a damn about anybody but them damn selves. It doesn't say that, but I'm sure they meant that. They claimed she was also sent back to work on the concourse after the spitting incident, despite physically shaking because of the trauma of what had happened. A colleague who witnessed the incident said, quote, "We begged not to go out. We said our lives are in danger." But she said they were told they had to go out. And I want to stop and say this to any of my people on the sound of my voice right now. If you don't feel safe going to your job or going anywhere right now just because they say it's safe to go, doesn't mean it's so. You're dealing with the people that have given our people syphilis on purpose, who have given us AIDS on purpose, who have given us Ebola on purpose, who have killed us on purpose, who have incarcerated us on purpose, who have strung us out on crack on purpose. I can keep going. This is the same devil. And so don't just turn around and say, oh, it's all brand new now. It's just all brand new. It's not brand new. And if you don't feel like doing anything, you don't do it. You understand? And there's a whole lot of attorneys out there that know there's going to be lawsuits behind this thing. And they're just out there going like this. Waiting on clients. Waiting on clients. You understand? So you need to be quick to sue the moment you are made to do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, because your very life is at stake on this. You understand? Is at stake. Your very life. We were told that we were not even allowed to put on masks, the colleague added. Govaya has behaved reckless and negligent. They have failed to do their duty of care. We are treated like we are robots. No. They're doing exactly what the agenda is. This is about killing off black people. That's why the only people out there protesting, saying we want to open up, go back to work, is fucking white people, because they know that they're not dying of it. And I believe that probably some of the earlier cases might have been hoaxes even. Might have been hoaxes. And I've not been to China, so how do I know there was really an outbreak in China? How do I know that? Think about it. Do you really know? That'd just be like you knew what happened at my house today. You don't know. I can sit here and tell you, but you weren't here. And you weren't in China either. And we don't speak Mandarin, so we're not watching reports from China. It didn't happen. Damn it. Agnes said, quote, she should have been sent out without any PPE. We want justice for Belly. They need to find the person who did it, and the company should compensate the family. Her daughter doesn't have a mother anymore. They should protect those who are left. Nah, you should walk your bitch ass off the job and tell them to kiss your entire black ass. This is not, listen, hear this everybody, I tell you, the captain of your ship, you need to stand at your gate. Nobody is telling me to do a damn thing in this bitch that I don't feel like doing or want to do. A damn thing. Not a damn. Angie Dahl, the managing director of South Railway and Gatwick Express, which is owned by Govia, said, quote, we take any allegations extremely serious and we're investigating these claims. No, you're not lying, whore. All right, the safety of our customers and staff, who are our key workers themselves, continue to be front of mind at all times, and we follow the latest government advice. We urge people only to travel if it is absolutely essential. Like, that's not what it's about. So why are you even telling us that? Because white people have to tell you shit that you're not even asking them. It doesn't pertain to the shit at hand. This is consistent. A spokeswoman for Govaya, or however you say it, said official government advice at the time of the incident was that PPE for our staff was, quote, not required. She added, quote, we have regularly briefed our people to keep washing their hands and socially distance as far as possible while working, but there's no protocol for somebody to come up and fucking spitting on you. You understand? Unless you're going to arm them with an AR-15, and then it's not really a problem if you get sick and die off. At least you got your goddamn revenge before you left. That's how I feel. I can't go on, everybody. We'll have to continue this. We'll have to continue it, because I'm getting worked up. And there's a lot more of this left. There's a lot of it. A lot more of it. And like I say, I'm always cocked and ready to strike. You understand? It doesn't do me any good to sit up here with all this piss and vinegar. At Ramadan, no less. I sat here for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 14, 15, 16, 17, certainly 3 years, 3.5. And tried to get my people to join, especially my brothers, particularly, to join the Black Independence Liberation League. You understand? So, if we're not going to do shit, I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to. Until then, this is the job.